Hello everyone, so today I'm here to share with you a card I've made using a recently released kit from Knitwit called Endearments, and it's a floral kit, and this time it's based around pansies. So that means we get all these lovely purples and yellows and lilacs. It's a really nice colour scheme, and this is a card blank I remember making many years ago, so just revisiting an old favourite, just giving it the new 5x7 twist because that's my new favourite card size. And it's a freestanding card. It stands up on its own, so it pops up, so you get lots of nice dimension, but also folds flat to fit into the envelope. So as I said, it's a 5x7 envelope. So the Endearments kit, as I said, is full of nice bold colours. So for my 5x7 card, I wanted to utilise my paper as much as I can. So the paper I've used is called ice paper, which I got from Amazon, and it prints really nicely. So what I've done is printed, like I do with photographs. So I click print straight from the folder, and I choose the 2 on a page option. So that way I only print onto one page. And then I've just got a piece of black cardstock ready to go. So my paper, or cardstock, is A4. So I'm going to move my paper out of the way and let's get going. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer and I'm going to trim it at 5 inches. So I've got my A4 lengthways that way. This piece I'm going to keep that length. The smaller one I'm going to utilise for the front bit. So if you're not using A4 cardstock, this piece is now 3 1/4 inches wide, and I'm going to cut it at 6 1/2. So a scrap piece you could use to mount a sentiment or image or something on, but I'm not going to use it today. So there we are, we've got my A4 piece, which is like 11 1/2 and a little bit extra. So probably about 11 3/4 if you're not using A4. And then my 6 1/2 by 3 1/4. So that would have been my A4 page. Okay, so let's grab my scoreboard and we start with the larger piece. We're going to put it with a long edge across the top. So I'm going to score at 7. So this is my 5x7 card base. So score at 7, 8, so making a 1 inch interval there, 10 1/4, so this will be the height that it comes up from the base up the card, and then we're going to just go back 1 inch again, so 11 1/4. We've got a little piece there then for our tape. So let's bring in our 6 1/2 inch piece, and with this one I'm going to score at 5 and 6. That's a nice and easy one. Okay. So that's my card base. So that's my 5x7 piece. So I'm folding from the bottom, and I'm going to fold it up. Just grab my score tool. You don't need to score it too sharply, okay, because we want a 90-degree, not 180-degree angle. And I'm just going to keep folding downwards, because what we're doing in fact is creating a box. The last one. So it's all folded like that. Now I'm going to bring my scoreboard back, and this time I'm going to mark at 4 3/4. I'm just going to do a little tick mark there, flip it over, 4 3/4. So that's going to be just my guide on how to glue them so it's the same height front and back. You could have just done a pencil line with a ruler if you wanted to. So then this one is the bit that's going to go on top, so we want to fold it back and back again. So just like that. So we've got those two shapes which will go together. So before I carry on, I'm going to add some tape. So it's this bit that's going to attach to the card. So I'm going to just add some there. And this bit is going to attach to the card. So I'm going to open it up and attach my tape there. So I'm just going to grab my scissors. I'm just going to go from that score line and just miter it slightly. And again on my smaller piece. So the best way to go now is to decorate the bits, because we'll want to stick bits onto other bits with this, but I can actually attach this straight away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tape, I'm going to fold it so it's sticking up loose that way, and what I'm going to do is line up this corner with that mark I made, and then line this one with the mark. Get my finger in just to hold it gently. So there's no tape on my left hand side, so I'm using that to hold it down, pressing down gently, just moving my fingers to keep it in place. So that's my base made. It was this I need to decorate now before I touch this. That's where I confused myself. So that's our freestanding box. So it's time to start decorating. So I think I'm going to go with this floral piece on the back. So I'm going to trim it down 1/4 of an inch shorter. So it was a 5-inch wide card, so I'm going 4 3/4. Let's just trim off the excess white bit. And for this top bit, I'm going to cut it at 4 1/2. So that bit will go there. So because I've trimmed it from there, we're going to have a pattern continuation there. So if you have got something you'd like to keep going up, you can. So this was 2 1/4, so I'm going to cut it at 2 inches. So we can go ahead and glue those onto the card. Bring my folder just to get it flat, and then the front panel. So you may find it easier with this front panel to fold it down and then smooth it. There we go. So now we're going to work on the small piece. And I got this nice lilac-y bordered one here. So I'm just going to trim off the excess white. And I want to get the continuation this time going over that way. So I'm going to cut this bit first. So that's going to be 3/4 inches. And the front piece is 5, so it's 4 3/4. So it's 4 3/4 and 1, 2, so if I cut it at 5 1/2. Oh, and the width is 3 inches. And this is my 3/4. 1, 2, 3. There we are. That way, it's easier to measure than coming in 3/4, which is there, which is really tricky. Okay. So just going to glue this on. And there we are. Now if you want to decorate this bit, I suggest you do it now. So I've got a couple of the bits left over which I could use. So I could have that, or I think I'll just go for the plain lilac. So again, it's going to be 3/4 by 4 3/4. So as I said, it's really hard to measure the 3/4 on my trim on my board. So I'm going to cut it at 2 1/2, turn it around, and just go back 3/4 by 4 3/4. And pinch it down. So now we're ready to attach this to the front. Now what we need to be really careful here is that it all still folds and that we don't have anything going over the edge, otherwise it's not going to fit into our envelope. So on my original one, I actually put it off to the left, to the right hand side, so it doesn't have to be in the center, but this time I think I will go to the center. So when we fold it, it's the top here which touches the top. So I'm going to fold over both pieces. I'm just going to take my tape and just take a little bit off. So I've just folded it over slightly so I get some adhesion. So I'm going to fold my card base closed. And now line up the top with the top of my card. I can put it to the left, in the center, to the right, wherever I want. I'm just eyeballing it and pressing it down. So as I lift, I'm trying to keep what's underneath in place. So that's why I pulled it off. So I've got some adhesion there. And now I'm just going to take the rest off. So now, when that attaches here, when it folds up, it's not going to go over the edge. So I'm just going to open it up, put some tape on the bottom of my flap, or whatever that we're going to call that. Again, with my card base closed, I'm going to bring it down, keep that bit flat, and now all those dimensions we worked out will match up. So when we bring it down, it'll all open nicely. And then it's just a case of decorating it as you wish. So I've got the same image I used before. So I've just cut it out. I'm just going to take some of my distress ink just to hide those white bits which I might have missed. and I'm going to glue it on, I think, like that. So I don't want these tiny little bits hanging over here, otherwise they're just going to get caught. So let's place it there. And then I've just copied and pasted it, cropped it down so I've got just the yellow pansy. I'm just going to put some 3D foam tape behind it. So of course you can just decorate it as much as you want. I'm just keeping it simple today so the video doesn't go on too long. So let's put on there. And because it's copy and pasted, it's going to be exactly the same size. You can create your own little decoupage pieces. And then just on the back, as I said at the start, I've just printed off one of the note cards, added the butterfly down in the corner. So again, I printed this on my ice paper. It's got a lovely shine to it. Although this looks like quite a plain note card, it's actually got a lot of texture printed on it. You can see the fabric sort of designs there. And there we go. A 3D card which folds flat into your 5x7 envelopes. So I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you're inspired to have a go. And if you do, I would love to see your versions. Remember, you can use any papers or anything you want to share in my Facebook group. Just have a look at Paper Crafting with Paul on there, and I'll add a link in the description below so you can find it nice and easy. And remember to head over to Knitwits as well if you like the look of these papers. And again, I'll have a link below for that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.